as I live and breathe.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I thought I would never be able to learn this word. Lesson learned: never say never. Do you know where it comes from? It's from the 1964 classic Mary Poppins movie.
It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious.
And in 2018, they released a sequel, Mary Poppins Returns, starring Emily Blunt. And today we will teach you British English with this very movie. You will learn the idioms like as I live and breathe, go fly a kite, and best foot forward, among other useful vocabulary that you can use in your real-life conversations and sound like a natural and confident English speaker. If you're new here, please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell down below because every week we create lessons just like this one to help you understand your favorite movies and TV series without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles. Also, every lesson comes with an exclusive deck of flashcards featuring all the vocabulary we've covered here. As soon as you finish watching the lesson, using your phone, click on the link in the description under this video, and you will be redirected to our Real Life English app and start your vocabulary practice right away. You also get the full lesson for free, so you can watch this video and follow an interactive transcript on the app. I will show you how it works later in the lesson, and now let's watch the clip with the subtitles first, and then you will learn all of the most important vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. And at the end of the lesson, you will take a short quiz by watching the clip one more time without subtitles and answering a few questions. And now let's begin our lesson.
As I live and breathe.
You need to be more careful when the wind rises, George. You nearly lost your kite. And you, too, nearly lost your Georgie. You might have got away completely had I not been holding on to the other end of that string. My goodness, Annabelle, what have you done to your clothes? You could grow a garden in that much soil. And John, yes, just as filthy.
How do you know our names?
Because she's Mary Poppins, of course. May I say you look lovely as always?
Do you really think so? Nice to see you, Jack.
Good to see you too, Mary Poppins. I was just your age when we first met, working for a chimney sweep.
Oh, how is dear old Bert?
Travelling the world he is, off to points unknown.
Well, now I am off to speak with the father of these children. His family is clearly in desperate need of a nanny. Now, quick march and best foot forward, and I'll thank you not to dawdle.
As I live and breathe.
The idiom "as I live and breathe" is something you say when you are really surprised or amazed by something. It's like saying, "Wow, I can't believe this is happening." For example, imagine you're walking down the street and suddenly you see an old friend you haven't seen in years. You might say, "As I live and breathe, is that you?" Practice the pronunciation as well.
As I live and breathe.
The Z sound from as links to I, and the V from live is connected to the reduced end, which loses D sound as the end. Finally, we have a chunk, 5 words linked together. As I live and breathe. As I live and breathe. Listen and repeat again.
As I live and breathe. As I live and breathe.
Check out these examples.
Bradshaw, as I live and breathe.
As I live and breathe. John Wick.
You need to be more careful when the wind rises, George. You nearly lost your kite.
Nearly means almost or close to happening, like I nearly missed my bus this morning. In the movie, they almost lost the kite and their brother George. The word nearly is somewhat softer than almost.
He might have got away completely had I not been holding on to the other end of that string.
This is an example of inversion, which is used here to add emphasis. Instead of saying, if I hadn't been holding on, the sentence flips the order for dramatic effect. She first says what would have happened. The boy would have been lost. And then she adds the condition, if I hadn't been holding the string. But uses the inversion here, had I not been holding. The phrase might have got away refers to an imaginary situation in the past that didn't happen. This sentence is an example of the third conditional, which we use to talk about unreal situations in the past. In the if clause, we use past perfect usually, or past perfect continuous, as in this case, if I hadn't been holding on. In the main clause, we use a would have, could have, or might have, plus past participle. He might have got away.
You could grow a garden in that much soil, and John, yes, just as filthy.
Soil is just another word for dirt. Mary Poppins jokes that Annabelle has so much dirt on her clothes, you could probably grow flowers on them. So the sentence, you could grow a garden in that much soil, is a humorous exaggeration here about how dirty Annabelle's clothes are. When something is super dirty, it's filthy. This word is also commonly used in insults.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, oh gosh, you're filthy. Go clean yourself up. Try to look professional.
I was just your age when we first met, working for a chimney sweep.
Oh, how is dear old Bert?
Travelling the world he is, off to points unknown.
Well, now I am off to speak with the father of these children.
Off to points unknown or parts unknown means nobody knew where he went. To be off here means to leave or to go somewhere. And you can hear Mary Poppins saying, I'm off to speak with the father, meaning I'm about to go and speak with the father of these children. It's a very casual phrase natives use all the time. For example, I'm off to grab some coffee means you're about to go get some coffee. Check it out in this example.
I'm off to dinner. What are you two doing?
Well, now I am off to speak with the father of these children. This family is clearly in desperate need of a nanny.
When you're in desperate need of something, you need it badly. It's like saying you really need something. There is some urgency about it. I remember that feeling when you're in a conversation in English and you're in desperate need for that one word you can't remember. Has it happened to you? That's when you feel that urgency, right? And then comes frustration. You had spent so much time on your learning and you just keep pausing and pausing in your English conversations because you're forgetting all the useful words you know. I've been there before. That feeling when you know what you want to say and you just want to be able to express your thoughts as easily as you can do it in your native language. We built the Real Life app to help you exactly with that, with never forgetting the words you learned. As I mentioned, every lesson like this one comes with a deck of flashcards. And by practicing just 10-15 minutes daily with them on our app, you'll be able to transfer these new words from your short-term to your long-term memory. Plus, with the spaced repetition software, you'll retain vocabulary more effectively by reviewing new words at carefully timed intervals, just when you're about to forget them. And of course, you can use all these words in conversations through video calls, connecting to the students of our Real Life English community. I highly recommend you check it out. The app is free to download. Just look for Real Life English in the App Store or Google Play, or simply click the link in the description below. It's free to get started, so go and download it now.
Now, quick march and best foot forward, and I'll thank you not to dawdle.
Mary Poppins is always teaching lessons about doing your best, but she does it in a light-hearted way. The phrase best foot forward means putting in your best effort. Like if you're going for a job interview, someone might tell you, put your best foot forward, meaning show them your best self.
The eyes of the world will be on us, Britain will be on show, and we must put our best foot forward.
Now, quick march and best foot forward, and I'll thank you not to dawdle.
When you move or act too slowly, you dawdle. So it's a fun word you can use to describe procrastination or being slow.
Take it! Take
Mikey, don't dawdle.
Now, let's not dawdle and see whether the children's parents will be happy to see their old nanny or not.
Father! Aunt Jane! Come quick! Quickly!
What is it, Georgie?
Has something happened?
I was flying a kite and I got caught on a nanny.
Whatever are you talking about?
Come! Come look!
Wait, where did you get that kite?
I found it in the park. She kept it from blowing away.
Mary.
Poppins. Close your mouth, please, Michael. We are still not a codfish. Jane Banks. Still rather inclined to giggle, I see.
Good heavens. It really is you. You seem hardly to have aged at all.
Really? How incredibly rude. One never discusses a woman's age, Michael. Would have hoped I taught you better.
I'm sorry, I didn't...
You came back. I thought we'd never see you again.
It is wonderful to see you.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
So, you know her then?
Mary Poppins used to be our nanny.
What brings you here after all this time?
Same thing that brought me the first time. I've come to look after the Banks children.
Us?
Oh, yes, you too.
Quickly!
What is it, Georgie?
Has something happened?
I was flying a kite and I got caught on a nanny.
Flying a kite is a popular children's activity, but be careful. If you hear someone say, "Go fly a kite," this might be offensive. It is a somewhat old-fashioned way to say, "Get lost," or "Leave me alone." Check out this example.
Whoa, dream big.
Oh, go fly a kite.
She kept it from blowing away.
Mary.
Poppins.
How do you understand this sentence? She kept it from blowing away. In this context, to keep from means to stop something from happening. In this case, she kept the kite from flying away. She didn't let it happen.
But you can't control my spirit, gentlemen. You can't keep me from learning. You can't keep me from studying.
Close your mouth, please, Michael. We are still not a codfish.
Codfish is a type of fish that's a great throwback to the original movie. In the 1964 film, Mary says a very similar line to Michael Banks when he's standing with his mouth open in surprise.
Close your mouth, please, Michael. We are not a codfish.
Codfish, or it's also called just cod, has been a staple in British cuisine for centuries, making it a relatable and familiar reference that is commonly used in fish and chips, a classic British dish.
Jane Banks. Still rather inclined to giggle, I see.
When you're inclined to something, you're doing this naturally. Mary says that Jane still has a tendency to giggle. It may also mean you're likely to do something, like you're inclined to believe your friend, or you're inclined to agree with someone. Check it out in this example.
Now you, Jane. Rather inclined to giggle doesn't put things away.
Jane Banks. Still rather inclined to giggle, I see.
To giggle is to laugh lightly. It's that kind of small, silly laugh you can't hold back. Like if someone tells a joke that's not super funny, but still makes you laugh a little, that's a giggle.
You seem hardly to have aged at all.
What a beautiful sentence from a grammatical point of view, but Mary Poppins didn't seem to appreciate it. Let's break it down. When we age, we grow older or show signs of getting older. And as you might have heard, discussing aging might be a pretty sensitive topic, especially for women. You never know how a person could take it. But what about this sentence? Wow, she's aged so well. This means someone looks great even though they're older now. Hardly means barely, like almost not or not at all. So Michael says Mary looks exactly the same as when they were kids.
You hardly know me. Because I judge a person's heart by the way they treat animals.
One never discusses a woman's age, Michael. Would have hoped I taught you better.
I would have hoped I taught you better. Now, what does this part mean here? I would have hoped. How is it different from saying, I hoped I taught you better? I would have hoped shows Mary's disappointment. She had certain expectations that hadn't been met. So the conditional I would have hoped points to unrealized expectations, but in a polite way. I hoped I taught you better is less reflective and more straightforward, so it doesn't add those nuances of disappointment expressed more softly.
One never discusses a woman's age, Michael. Would have hoped I taught you better.
Let's break down the connected speech in this phrase. I would have hoped I taught you better. We have the H dropping in the word have. I would have becomes I would have. The T at the end of taught links with the Y from you, and we hear the sound ch. Taught you. Taught you. I would have hoped I taught you better. Listen and repeat.
Would have hoped I taught you better. Would have hoped I taught you better.
Mary Poppins used to be our nanny.
What brings you here after all this time?
What brings you here is a polite and friendly way to ask, why are you here, or what's the reason for your visit? Funny that Mary Poppins never explicitly explains why she arrives. She simply shows up when she's needed.
Darcy, what brings you here?
Of course you can. How lovely. What brings you here? Same thing that brought me the first time. I've come to look after the bank's children.
Us?
Oh, yes, you too.
When we travel, we usually ask our friends to look after our pets or plants while we are away. To look after means to take care of someone or something. So Mary Poppins came to take care of the bank's children. Both the original movie and the sequel are a great choice for a family movie night, and you can have some fun while learning one of the longest English words, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, that was coined by Mary Poppins. Now, let's watch the scene one more time and test your comprehension.
You need to be more careful when the wind rises, George. You nearly lost your kite. And you too nearly lost your Georgie. You might have got away completely had I not been holding on to the other end of that string. My goodness, Annabelle, what have you done to your clothes? You could grow a garden in that much soil. And John, yes, just as filthy.
What does this sentence mean here? You could grow a garden in that much soil. That's a lot of dirt. Perfect for a garden? Just a joke about dirt.
May I say you look lovely as always?
Do you really think so? Nice to see you, Jack.
Good to see you too, Mary Poppins. I was just your age when we first met, working for a chimney sweep.
Oh, how is dear old Bird?
Travelling the world he is, off to points unknown.
Well, now I am off to speak with the father of these children. This family is clearly in desperate need of a nanny. Now, quick march and best foot forward, and I'll thank you not to dawdle.
What does the phrase to be off mean in this sentence? Well, now I am off to speak with the father of the children. Angry or upset about something? Confused or unsure? Leaving to do something.
How is dear old Bird?
Travelling the world he is, off to points unknown.
Well, now I am off to speak with the father of these children. This family is clearly in desperate need of a nanny. Now, quick march and best foot forward, and I'll thank you not to dawdle.
Go on.
Which picture shows someone dawdling?
Whatever are you talking about?
Come! Come look!
Wait, where did you get that kite?
I found it in the park. She kept it from blowing away.
Mary.
Poppins. Close your mouth, please, Michael. We are still not a codfish. Jane Banks. Still rather inclined to giggle, I see.
Jane Banks is still rather inclined to giggle. This phrase suggests that Jane often laughs or giggles. True? False?
Good heavens. It really is you. You seem hardly to have aged at all.
Really? How incredibly rude. One never discusses a woman's age, Michael. Would have hoped I taught you better.
I'm sorry, I didn't...
You came back. I thought we'd never see you again.
It is wonderful to see you.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
So, you know her then?
Mary Poppins used to be our nanny.
What brings you here after all this time?
In what situation would you ask, what brings you here? Greeting a cashier at the grocery store? Meeting someone unexpectedly at the event? Seeing your best friend who visits you every day? That's it for today. Remember to practice new words and expressions you learned in this lesson with the flashcards on our Real Life English app. You'll find a special link right in the description below. Just use your smartphone to get started. It's the easiest way to make these words stick with you forever. And if you're staying with us on YouTube, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. This way you help other learners find these videos as well. Here's another great lesson for you to watch next.
Did you know she was Lady Whistledown?
You spoke with Penelope this morning?
Yes. She is devastated about Miss Cowper coming forward. Tell me you did not know.
No. Not about Cressida.